Peace and love, family. I just want to make this video by saying this. I'm a black man who loves black women, and I definitely love when I see both a black man and black woman prospering and thriving together. Maybe I come from an era where black love was presented not only in person, but you see it resonating in both film and in music. But what I'm seeing nowadays, especially online and in social media, the dynamic between the black man and black woman is absolutely disgusting. And it's also heartbreaking to see all of this hatred and this animosity persisting between brothers and sisters on an everyday basis. I'm going to make this video by stating this. I am not interested in engaging in a gender war against my own black women. And at the same notion, I'm not going against the black man simply because there are women out here who have issues with the black man. I have made videos that have expressed a thorough and critical analysis of both the black man and the black woman. I have made videos that have suggested that the onus is always on us black men, because if we want to be respected as men, we have to hold ourselves in such high regard that has us on the mantle of leadership that men are supposed to carry and conduct themselves with. I have also said that some of these brothers out here who are beta male black women haters, all they do is go on the internet and social media, bitch, moan, cry, and complain and show their utter hatred against their own women. But I have also been critical of sisters on this platform as well. I have made videos that have broken down the other delusion of feminists that many black women are following, while simultaneously giving props and credit to the sister Chantel Simone for calling out the fuckery that I've called out. And I've also said that the common denominator is you black women in regards to why your relationships and your interactions with black men are continuing to remain unsuccessful. Just because I am critical of both brothers and sisters in certain regards does not mean that I hate both black men and black women. I'm a black man who was birthed into this planet by a black woman, who was loved and has continued to get nothing but love from my stepmother, who has two wonderful great grandmothers, who has countless of brilliant aunts and female cousins, who has a good relationship with my sister. I'm talking about my oldest sister, the only sister I have. And I also have a good parenting relationship with my son's mother. Although we're not together, you will never hear me publicly condemn and attack her on no platform. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to the failure of the relationship between my son's mother and me, I will always blame myself and I will always take responsibility as to why that relationship failed. I acknowledge my faults. I don't go and say, oh, she did this, and this, and that's why I left her. No. Because for everything she did wrong, I probably can name about 3 I did wrong. But I digress. It seems as though many brothers go to Kevin Samuel's show to display their other bitterness and hatred towards black women. But the main reason why Kevin Samuel's platform blew up to where he's at nearly 1.3 million subscribers is because many black women with unrealistic expectations who are showing the delusion and fuckery that many men have called out for years. Y'all go on his platform to just disagree and to show your disagreement when you call into that man's show. And then you get upset when he treats you the way that you yourself came on there to be treated. But many of you men, y'all be in the comment section talking about he's supposed to go in and just destroy the chick. Have we gotten to the point in 2021, going into 2022, of this divide between black men and black women so deep that all we gonna do is just attack each other day in and day out? Making a thorough and critical analysis of the effects and problems between brothers and sisters, while also displaying some forms of solutions in some of my videos is not attacking no brother or no sister. Just because I say a lot of men are weak as hell in this constant condemnation of their women doesn't mean that I'm an enemy of the black man. It just letting brothers know some of that bullshit you are displaying on these platforms and on the internet when it comes to your women, I just don't agree with it, homie. And just because I say the common denominator is you, and by you refusing to look yourself in the mirror and change some of the negative characteristics that makes you unaccessible to men, that don't mean I'm bashing black women. That don't mean that I'm attacking black women. That don't mean that I'm bitter and I'm washed up and I'm angry. No. If anything, by being honest and upfront and telling you what the problem is, it really shows that I absolutely care about the black woman, because I want to see both the black woman and the black man succeed. I have always advocated, not only on these platforms, but in real life, that black love is a beautiful thing. That I want to see successful and thriving black men and black women relationships and marriages. I don't speak about the LGBTQ community and trying to help them out, because I'm not a member of that community. If they want to get with each other and love and cherish and have a wonderful relationship with each other, they have the right to do that. But I advocate black love between the black man and the black woman who ultimately produces the black child. And as long as I'm on these platforms and as long as I'm breathing, I'm going to continue to advocate that. Because believe it or not, brothers, a lot of your angst directed towards women is because naturally and ordinarily we do want to be with a black woman. And sisters, a lot of this vitriol you have against black men, you only have it because deep down inside you wish you did not fail in a relationship with a black man. I don't even advocate interracial relationships because it's just not my thing. If that's what you want to do, cool. My objection to it is when you severely bash and criticize either the black man or the black woman, even though you ain't even dealing with us. How can you call yourself a brother dealing with non-black women but still get on these platforms and talk mad shit about the black woman, and you ain't even in a relationship with them? That goes to show the hypocrisy you're displaying, because deep down inside you really wish you never failed in your dealings with a black woman. And sister, same thing. You talking about how these white men treat you better than these black men. You trying to hold these unrealistic expectations to black men, but you don't do it to the white man. While at the same time saying that the black man ain't shit. But in reality, both you and him ain't shit. All of this hurt, all of this pain, all of this trauma that many of our people have against one another is continuing to dissolve us as a whole. It is furthering bringing down the black race collectively. I'm a brother who believes in a race-first philosophy, which means I want to see a brother or sister of African descent become closely connected and combined with one another. Don't tell me that that's just a fantasy Disney tale. I would look in this camera and say that's bullshit. I literally know countless of brothers and sisters that are in wonderful relationships, who are thriving and prospering with one another, who are taking care of their children together. And they are the proper and right examples of black love that we need to emulate. But all of this anger and hostility that we have against one another, we have to ask ourselves, black family, why are we continuing to engage in this dysfunction in the first place? Yeah, I see some of y'all brothers, y'all want to go in on these chicks like Brittany Rayner and all that. My thing is, if you know those type of women are toxic and foul, why even entertain them to begin with? Brothers have to start thinking wisely. Stop thinking from a physical and sexual standpoint. I get it, brothers. I'm a man just like y'all. I like a good looking and thick and curvy chick. But I've always stated that if I can't have more than a 5-minute conversation with her, she's the type of woman I ain't trying to get with. If she's not on a level that exhibits respect, trust, growth, intelligence, and handling business, that's the type of woman I don't need. But many of you brothers got to get out of this nonsense of, oh, you just going light on her because she look good. Man, I'll never start messing with her. You tripping, bro. Hey, bro. For every chick that looks good, there's at least one man that's tired of them with her. You know the story. Or many sisters, you get caught up in your own delusion as well. Meaning you are stuck in these unmanageable relationships with these men. These abusive relationships, these toxic relationships. But you want to know why? Because many of you women are scared to leave the man because you think you cannot do better than that man. Or because that you like the drama, you like the toxicity, and it only represents that you're toxic yourself. So both brothers and sisters, you're contributing to your own problems. You're contributing to the continued hindrance of why black relationships ain't working nowadays. I had a conversation yesterday with my grandmother, and I had to tell my grandmother that, Grandma, I commend you, and I truly respect you even more, that you still continue to hold down my grandfather 3+ years after he's passed. And she told me that she noticed the difference between why her marriage with my granddad worked and why these relationships in 2021 are failing. And she told me that back in the day, my granddad had a drinking problem. And if she followed and listened to the advice of many of you dim-witted women and you numb-nut men in 2021, my grandmother would have met my grandfather, and I probably would have never met either one. But the thing is, my grandmother knew how great and how valuable of a man my grandfather was. And so she decided to stick it out and work out the problems with him. And that's how their marriage lasted over 40+ years until the day he died. And he's been gone for nearly 4 years, and yet she still remains dedicated and committed to the legacy of my grandfather. Meanwhile, many of us, as soon as one problem arises, like an airplane, we take off. Now, the problem is unsalvageable, and if it's to the point where you know it can't be fixed or solved, then if you need to leave it, leave it. But if the problem is just minute or small, or if you look at the good side of a person and it far outweighs the bad side, why not work it out? Why be in marriages if you're just looking to leave as soon as one hurdle or one obstacle comes your way? This is the game called life. You're going to have problems in it. It's going to have ups and downs. It's going to roll around like a roller coaster, whether you like it or not. Just like the weather. Today it's sunny outside. Yesterday it was gloomy, cloudy, and rainy. It changes every day. And although the weather may change, and although life goes through certain changes and obstacles, it does not mean that the first ounce of inkling of trouble or problems we have, we just automatically disperse and get out of that jam. That's the main reason why these relationships don't last. Nobody's willing to truly trust and believe in their significant other. They just looking to get out of any problem. They just looking to totally remove themselves of the first inch of trouble. And I'm not talking about red flags. If it's red flags, you should notice it from the get-go. They're there. You need to pay attention, which means you need to have a careful observation of who you're dealing with. That goes for both men and women. So in conclusion, we as black men and black women have to continue to work on ourselves from an individual standpoint first. Too many brothers and sisters are holding on to a lot of issues of hurt, trauma, pain, disappointment, and anger that for some odd reason we're not either acknowledging or that we're refusing to address. You must look yourself in the mirror and say, I have these issues going on. I cannot continue to live the rest of my life this way. God did not intend for us to just stay on this path of hurt and pain, because hurt people hurt people. We want to talk about R. Kelly, but at one time that man was hurt. So hurt people went out and hurt more people. And now you have all of these hurt people. But when do we look ourselves from within and declare to ourselves, okay, I've hurt long enough. Now it's time for me to heal. And if we're not looking to heal within ourselves, black family, then this divide between us is going to branch out even more. And while the rest of the world is advancing past us, we're going to continue to participate in our own destruction, simply because no one wants to be the bigger man or the bigger woman and accept the reality that we're both fucked up. I'm all about healing over here, while at the same time speaking critically of both brothers and sisters out of the spirit of love. Because everything that I do from a critical point of view only represents in truth. When you speak truth, whether it hurts or not, it can actually help you in the long run. And this is what many of us need. We need to hear the truth, and we need to accept the truth, regardless of how ugly it looks. The truth is the truth, and they don't give two fucks about your feelings. May you brothers and sisters have a wonderful day. And if you have a lot of hate and resentment towards each other, that means you only have hate and resentment within yourself. And if you do have that within yourself, then you need to look yourself in the mirror, and you need to tell yourself, it's time for me to heal me. Because I should be a person of love, not a person that's walking around every day living with hate and putting hate into the atmosphere to others. May you brothers and sisters look to the divine guidance of the Most High, and may both of you continue to grow and evolve yourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, and intellectually. For black love is a beautiful thing, and all of this hate and envy towards each other, we need to slowly but surely start ending it right now. 100.